Okay, this week's Parashat Chukat. Just one thing, one of my favorite chidushim, I like to say. It's possible Nir has heard it from me. If you open to a page, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want an answer quickly, Mr. Emmanuel. If you open to page 440. Right? So Pasuk Yudalet, right by Revi'i. Vayishlach Moshe malachim mikadesh el melech Edom. Moshe sends messengers to the king of Edom. Ko amar achicha Israel. Right? Your brother Israel has something to tell you. Right? Now, before I tell you Rashi's answers, I'm going to ask you Rashi's questions. I want to ask you what would we have thought on the pasuk? Why mention all of a sudden brotherhood? We are your brother. And then how does the message start? I tell you that you know all the hardships that we had. We went down to Mitzrayim. We were in Mitzrayim a long time. They did horrible things to us. Mitzrayim Elavotenu, when Yitzhak el Hashem, and then we cried out to Hashem, and Hashem heard us, and He sent Malach, which is Moshe, and saved us. So we are at the edge of your country. Let us please go through your country. So they want to ask permission to go through the land of Edom up to Eretz Israel. Right? If you try to picture Eretz Israel, right to the south of Eretz Israel. Right to the south of Eretz Israel, you have a little bit what we would call inhabitable land, and then below that, more to the south, you have the desert. So that's where Esav was. Esav was between the desert and land of Israel. So they're coming up all the way. If they are given permission just to go through, stop over. Just let us go through. We will go. We will be where we want to be. So eventually, he didn't give. The land of Edom didn't give us. So they had to go back down and go all the way around. It lengthened their way very much. They had to go around the country Edom, which, as I said, made the way much lengthier. Okay, they asked permission. They weren't given permission. We leave the ramification of that. But what is this whole, Mr. Emmanuel? This whole introduction is our brother Esav. We went to Mitzrayim. We had a horrible time. They heard us. They bothered us. What are they trying to do here? Why are they giving a history lesson? You know what happened to us in Mitzrayim? We had so much hardship.
They suffered
because
Yaakov maybe bothered their grandparents.
They're trying to garner sympathy. That's what you're saying. We poor people, we were downtrodden, we were hurt, we were killed. Right?
They paid the price for their grandfathers.
Right. So you look at Rashi. Rashi says just the opposite. I thought like you also. But Chachamim tell us that's a wrong way of thinking about it. So look at Rashi. Achecha Israel, ma ra'a lehazkir kan achwa. Why do they mention the brotherhood here? Why all of a sudden they talk of being a brother to Esav? Ela amru lo achim anachnu bnei Avraham. Look, we are both grandchildren of Avraham. So what? So therefore, shenamar lo ki yeh zaracha. Therefore, both of us deserved to go to Galut. Hashem told Avraham, your children will go to Galut. So you should have come to Galut also. It was both of our lot to pay that debt. Continue Rashi. It doesn't say you know. I mistranslated it. You knew all the difficulties of Galut. That's why Esav went away, didn't stay in Eretz Canaan. He went to Seir because he knew that whoever sticks to the Abrahamic mission, the mission of Avraham Avinu, will have to go through Galut, and he wasn't interested in going through Galut. Esav knew, and Esav purposely left. Vayelech el eretz mipnei Yaakov achiv, he left. Mipnei asher tarchu hamutal alehem, because of that debt that they needed to both pay. Vayitila al Yaakov, so he put the debt totally on Yaakov. Now, Vayira'u lanu sarot rabot, they heard us a lot. V'la'avotenu, okay, that's right. Vayishma kolenu v'racha sheberachanu avinu kol Yaakov. Right? Now, let's go to the next Rashi Yud Zayin. Na'aberana be'artzecha. Let us go through your land. En lecha le'orer ara Yerusha shel Eretz Yisrael. Don't you dare have a claim against Eretz Yisrael. Keshem shelo parat achov. Just like you didn't, what? Pay the debt. You hear what Moshe was telling? Chazal said, Moshe didn't come from a position of weakness. We are, as they say in Yiddish, nebechs. We were hurt, we were killed, we were tortured. No. Moshe was telling them, don't you dare forget what you did. You owe us. You owe us.
Why do you owe?
Because it was a debt we both had to pay. And you put it totally on us.
They left.
He left, exactly.
Before I think. He was not part of the covenant.
He chose not to be part of the covenant. Why? Because he didn't want to pay the debt. He didn't want to pay the debt. So don't you dare now say, oh, we should have also a share in Eretz Yisrael because we are children of Abraham. You didn't pay. Don't you dare have a claim. A, B, you owe us. Right? Continuation of that Rashi. Aselanu ezer ma'at. So help us a little bit. You owe us.
Is it the same reason when Yaakov came to Esau, he told him he had a hard time with Lavan? He went to Galut.
Rashi over there says differently. Rashi over there says he was trying to appease. He says, look, the brachot of Yitzchak did not come true by me. Esav was Yitzchak gave a bracha of easy life. Apparently because I took it from you and he didn't have intention for me, it didn't come true. Over there is more like you say. He's trying to appease. But over here, it's not. Over here, say Chazal, you come from a position of a strength. You come from position, what? We are not best, help us. No. You come from position of a strength. I tell you, I think it's an assumption, but I'm very, very convinced of it. I'm very, very convinced of what I'm about to say, but I'm saying it's an assumption. I don't know. I'm just making an assumption here. We all know, we've heard of the name Rabbi Kollel. Rabbi Kollel was the one who's credited with rebuilding Torah in America. So when Rabbi Kollel came to America, it was 1941, I think, beginning of 1942. He was greeted by a group of the most serious, between Rosh Elyon, the most serious, if you will, time the Chachamim in America. They asked him to become the Rosh. So he said that he felt as long as there was one single Jew left in Europe, it's not a time to study yeshiva. Everybody's obligation is to do everything in their power to save them. And that's what he did. For the next 4 years, 3.5 years, he literally moved heavens and earth to save as many Jews as possible from. He galvanized the country. Now he met a lot of resistance. The attitude then in America, especially of the less religious, more prominent at that time during World War II, reform was very powerful. This and that was let's not rock the boat. We shouldn't. And he felt the opposite. He felt when there are lives at stake, you rock every boat possible. So he tried very hard to get an appointment with Roosevelt's finance minister, who was a Jew. Right? To make an opening for him to make a plea to Roosevelt to bomb the tracks to Auschwitz. So it took him a long, he pushed every door that he could to finally he got the meeting with him. So here his right-hand man was a man by the name of Rabbi Bunim.
How about who?
Bunim. Rabbi Simcha Bunim. Rabbi Simcha Bunim's life, by the way, is written in a book called Soul in His Fire. It's an amazing book if you want to read it. The Soul in His Fire. So Rabbi Bunim was a very educated American-born man, well-spoken. Rabbi Kollel didn't speak English. So Rabbi Bunim, whatever he did, he ran by Rabbi Kollel. So he said, okay, tell me, we're going to go to the meeting tomorrow. How are you going to start? How are you going to talk to the minister? So he said in Yiddish what he's about to say. And the first sentence was, the Honorable Secretary, as you know, we Jews have been persecuted for 2,000 years. So he said, scratch that off. You don't say that. You don't start a conversation. So why? He said, because you say we've been persecuted for 2,000 years, so they'll think, another 2 years, what's the big deal?
Let's continue.
That's like, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
You come from a position of strength, right? We have a right as human beings, like everybody else has a right, and we demand that right. I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe he got that idea from this pasuk. See, when you read these two pasukim, at least I did, my dear friend Mr. Emmanuel also did, it seems that they are what? That they are saying, oh, we were so downtrodden, the Mitzrim heard us, the Mitzrim killed us, so please help us. And Rashi and Chazal are telling us just the opposite. Don't translate it like that. What do you see from Chazal? They're taking it what would have seemed to us out of Kepeshuto. They're saying don't read it like that. If Rashi goes out of Peshuto, that means there's absolutely no way to say that's the correct way of talking. I think this is the source. This is the source that's not how you talk. One has to be certain, obviously, like everything else in life, there is a balance. The question is where and when and whatever. I'm not giving a class over here how to talk. But the lesson of here is there are times that you got to be confident in your own right. And that's how you present it. That's how you present it. Right? It's wrong. Chazal are telling us it's wrong to translate this pesukim like this. It's wrong to say that Moshe and Jews, obviously with the divine instruction of Hashem, they were saying, oh, we had such a hard time, help us. No. Don't you dare have a claim against Eretz Yisrael. They were talking very sharply to Edom. Don't you dare have a claim in Eretz Yisrael because we suffered, you didn't. We're not asking for your sympathy because we suffered. Right? Look at Rashi, Jack. You missed the beginning part. Look at Rashi on those pasukim. Right? You didn't pay the debt, so you owe us. You didn't pay the debt, you have no claim against us. We are in a very strong position. We have a right to what we are asking. That's how Moshe was. Edom didn't accept. And that's another speech. Hashem told Moshe that 3 nations they couldn't attack. 3 nations, even though they showed a very clear willingness to fight with Israel, with Am Yisrael, Hashem said it's not their time now. It's not their time. That it's Edom, Ammon, and Moab. These 3 nations, let them be. Let them be. It's not their time, even though they're not acting properly, even though, let's call it according to international laws of the time, it would have been they started the war, right? But you go away. You stay away from them. It's not the time yet. It's not the time yet. Okay.
Rabbi, what did I miss?